Greetings and salutations, fellow eaters of worlds. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by the boy.
Hey, man.
This is the Two Nerds Podcast. Today we are talking about WWE Extreme Rules 2022. But before we get into that, there's a link tree in the description. The stuff in that link tree is described on the ticker at the bottom of your screen. If you feel so inclined, at least $1 a month will make you cool, like Rob, a guy from Ohio, and Passion Killer 711. $5 a month will get you episodes of Journey of Wrestling early. I know you guys like that sweet-ass Journey of Wrestling content, so, consider it. And I think it would be considerate.
Hey!
Also, one other thing I want to get out of the way here, not because we don't know if we have enough to fill the podcast on, just because it's the next piece of wrestling content. And I need to admit I was wrong, especially after a large and lengthy rant. I have been turning around a lot on Jon Moxley. He's not a WWE guy, he's an AEW guy. But following everything that happened after the fallout, working on a handshake contract, taking the title when he was supposed to have vacation, not negotiating for more money to try to go elsewhere.
Acting like a little bit of a diva regarding his win record, and generally being kind of thin-skinned when he came back from, recovering from alcoholism. Those are forgivable sins in the face of, contrast, right?
Sure. And you know what? Life tends to give me that now and then and just goes, hey, quit being so hard on this guy.
Hey, man, I was pretty negative towards Mox on the last wrestling podcast, too. Because the stuff around the title changing hands just before the pay-per-view felt like someone trying to get their own personal shit in the face of making the story worse. But given what has happened afterwards, it makes that course of action seem a lot more reasonable. Because he didn't bite anybody. Really, not in the wrestling ring. Really bite another human man.
His wrestling has also been a lot more consistent lately, and I appreciate that. But enough about
the other product,
Johan Moxley. Let's talk about WWE. Would you like to go through the card first and then talk about the E as a whole?
That's one way or another. I feel like the card will give us the ability to go back and give examples, so okay. Let's do that.
Extreme Rules was Saturday. We watched it Sunday. Somehow managed to duck spoilers.
I just didn't go on social media.
I have a very strong request to everyone listening that works for WWE, which as our podcast is so popular.
Yeah, clearly.
We probably have the ears of at least like 3 or 4 people backstage. Please let Michael Cole say fuck.
He so clearly wanted to at several points
and I want him to. I want him not. You don't have to be a reason. He can just say fuck.
There's like a down moment. It's real quiet. Fuck. And then there's another down moment, and then he just moves on.
Yeah. And maybe he did, and we missed it because they edited it out of the replay. I don't know.
But the first match was the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match.
I didn't care for this.
It was pretty easy to not care for.
Look, okay, here's the thing, all right? They set up all this shit at ringside to simulate the barroom brawl, right?
And then underutilized it.
Yeah, no one went through the big bar. Nobody went through a barrel.
Yeah, nobody got thrown into a barrel. That's probably because they were just real barrels, and that would have
really hurt. So gimmick your fucking barrels. You knew you were doing this.
Well, yeah.
And that is actually something I do need to say for this Extreme Rules card. I am glad that every match on the card had something going on for it. It wasn't just one Extreme Rules match and the rest are all regular, or they're all Extreme Rules matches.
No, every single one has its own little thingy. There's only technically one Extreme Rules match on the card. But they were all clearly in that oeuvre. They were all clearly no DQ matches, some variant gimmick match.
Right.
I honestly think that may have been to the pay-per-view's detriment. As I have oldered, I have grown weary of gimmick pay-per-views. But coming back to the E, after in the new Paul era. I had hope, but it doesn't matter how good the pizza is. Eventually, you want a different food. You know?
I wouldn't call this pizza.
No, pizza can be very proletarian.
I'm like, but this match is a great example, and I was kind of excited to see it because Sheamus and Gunther had a great knockdown drag out at Clash at the Castle.
But this very much felt like a lesser version of that match. It had more people, it had more stuff, it had fucking Michael Cole saying good old-fashioned Donnybrook in his painfully American accent so many times.
Yeah.
But it felt like it was too busy.
I don't know that it did, man. It felt like nothing fucking happened.
See, you and I have very different impressions of this match. Neither of us are very fond of it, but for very different reasons, and I find that interesting.
Like, the biggest spots were just guys hitting guys for the most part. There was a couple of, like, I think, Butch and his shapely feminine legs did a moonsault at some guys. That's not a criticism, just something I noticed. And I feel like somebody went through a something.
I believe at some point, yeah.
For the me, barricade or whatever.
It felt, I guess, higgledy-piggledy. There wasn't like a... It didn't feel like they had a story to tell in this match beyond like 2 beats.
It was disorganized as fuck.
And that's maybe what I mean by busy.
Sure.
Because it's just like there were 2 real beats they wanted to hit. They wanted to hit Sheamus getting hit with a shillelagh, like he, as I understand it, happened just previously in the Intercontinental title match. And they wanted to hit the finish, the actual little big finish piece.
They were kind of pushing Volta's directing traffic too, and I think they did that just fine.
Yeah, and that's the other thing about this. None of this was bad.
It was just bland.
And I think honestly, it wasn't as bland as you feel it was. I feel like Kevin Dunn did a lot to ruin this match and many matches on this card. It may not have actually been him at the controls, but his spirit infected this.
It's the camera cuts, specifically what we're talking about. And, like, it's really bad when you can get somebody who doesn't know that criticism, and, like, one of the first things they say upon watching a match is, why do they keep cutting the camera away like that?
Yeah, because, like, we were watching this with someone who doesn't watch a lot of WWE content. They watch AEW. And they immediately noticed.
And it's not just the frequency, it's, like, the inorganic nature of them. Like, and I'm not saying AEW doesn't have bad camera cuts. I've seen a few in the last month. But, like, it's so often.
It's like a percentage game, right? It's... If you have many more camera cuts than AEW, you will have a commiserate amount more bad ones.
Yeah. Like, eventually, about halfway through the pay-per-view, you get kind of numb to it.
Yeah, you do. You kind of, like, you fucking sink into the WWE soup, and it stops being something you notice consciously. But I think it's still there.
Oh, yeah, it absolutely
in the back of your head, draining your ability to pay attention to what's going on.
It makes it a little hard to watch. Not quite like on the level of motion sickness, but it's just not, it's not good. Please stop.
It does, every time you, alright, so the easiest way I can explain this is AEW does camera cuts. They do them. They do them a fair amount.
There's nothing wrong with a camera cut.
No, I mean, you got 9 cameras, fucking use them. But they tend not to do them in the middle of wrestling moves. They tend not to do them for, like, some guys are doing some moves outside the ring, some guys are doing some moves inside the ring. Let's cut to the guys out the ring, they do a thing, and literally the second they're done with their thing, we cut back to the people inside the ring walking. And then we cut back to the people outside the ring.
I mean, the most egregious thing is, let's say, for example, the main event, Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins, okay? We are a shot behind Matt Riddle seeing Seth Rollins' face. They lock up. We cut to seeing Matt Riddle's face. We cut to a wider shot of them locking up. Matt Riddle starts to do a move. We cut back so that we can see both of their faces at the same time. He executes the move. We cut to the audience for some reason, and then we cut back to the ring to see the aftermath of the move. They don't need to be that many cuts in 8 seconds.
But we're getting to the show as a whole. It's
Yeah,
this match.
This match specifically I just was underwhelmed by it. I didn't feel any spots. I didn't feel the animosity between these two, which is only noteworthy because I felt it last time. Overall, I did not give a shit about what was happening in this show, with like 2 minor exceptions.
Well, this is clearly a B pay-per-view.
Sure.
Like,
Roman Reigns doesn't want to work anymore. Not that I criticize that.
No, he earned that.
Whatever. But he doesn't, and neither do his tag team champions, for that matter. I get it, but these storylines just didn't feel... I don't understand why Sheamus is a face. If you could let me know that in the comments, why the Brawling Butches are faces.
I honestly think it's relative emphasis. I think they're a face for the same reason sometimes MJF is a face when he's, in a certain town or talking to someone the audience hates more.
Yeah, I guess.
They just don't fucking like Imperium.
I don't know why. They're pretty good.
Well, they're bad guys. One of them might as well be named Nazi, and the other one might as well be named Mussolini
it's
Double
Gunther
Fascist.
now. Yeah.
Like, they're the Axis powers. They're heels, bruh.
God, WWE's fucking stupid sometimes. Speaking of which, Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
So, this
was the Extreme Rules match.
This was the Extreme Rules match. I'm upset by the finish to this match. I suppose not the finish, the winner. The finish was fine, technically speaking, but how you gonna have her beat Shayna Baszler and then have her lose to way less cool Shayna Baszler?
I mean, she has beat Ronda twice.
That's fine. Look, I get it for storytelling reasons, why you don't want to bury Ronda Rousey, blah, blah, blah. Don't book the fucking match.
I wouldn't hire Ronda Rousey. It's stuff like that is, I think, wow, maybe WWE might be watchable now. That's interesting. And then I look at their roster and remember that includes folks like Ronda Rousey and Logan Paul.
As I understand it, he's good.
Just nothing to say about his in-ring work. Ronda Rousey knows how to work a submission, and I appreciate that. It's something I complain about when other people do it poorly.
Well, I mean, it's because she knows how to do all those submissions. So.
I just don't like her. I don't like Logan Paul.
That's absolutely fair.
I don't want to watch Logan Paul challenge for the WWE Championship.
Could you imagine they go full Arquette and he wins it, and he's the one who dethrones Roman? God, that would be fucking...
Wow. The bars will be full with people sad drinking the next day. Now, another part of this is that this might be storyline heading into the image you're staring at, as to why Liv Morgan lost.
Yeah, I mean, and if that's the case, then okay, that's fine. Put the title on someone who could use it who could actually use it. A talent who's not as good as Liv Morgan, doesn't wrestle as well, can't promo for shit. The WWE's answer to Jade Cargill. But Jade can promo and wrestle better.
Depends on the night, but yeah, it was short. It wasn't great. There were some dumb spots, but whatever. I didn't care for it.
It wasn't a great match.
Yeah. Moving on to a match I did enjoy, which was Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a strap match.
Yeah, this was a much more focused effort than the first match. And it didn't contain any people who are just sort of shitty at their job and unlikable anyway. Like the second match. It had 2 guys with cool, good gimmicks just beating the ever-loving befuck out of each other.
I mean, Drew McIntyre's giant flaming CGI swords are fucking stupid, but so is all of WWE's giant CGI graphics.
The only part of this match that was cartoonish was for about the first 4 times they hit each other with the strap. Kevin Dunn, or one of his minions, was playing a fucking, cartoon sound effect of a whip cracking and a box falling downstairs.
It sounded like when you walk into the walls in early Pokemon games, just kush, 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 kush.
And it was really noticeable and really stupid, and it took me all the way out of the match. And then I'm gonna, it feels like Paul Levesque fucking slammed the production door open and began beating ass until they stopped.
What the fuck are you guys doing in here? Who told you to do that? Jesus Christ, Don, I let you keep your job. Don't do me like this.
But it stopped, and the match instantly became way fucking better.
Yeah, I was really dreading the entire match with every strap being preceded by a very quiet whip noise, and then poof, poof. You know, the sound belts make.
And then they just got into a place where the mics were really close and they were hitting each other, and it was making the actual noise that makes.
That slapping noise.
You don't need to add sound, guys. That's already a horrifying noise.
It was good. It was good shit. Good heel shit at the end of this, too.
Yeah.
I really liked
This was honestly, this was probably match of the night. For me, at least. The main event was good, but I fucking love Karrion Kross's gimmick.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
It's cool. He's he makes a weird promo, and he's fucking WWE Miro. He loves his beautiful lady.
He's gonna eat time or whatever.
He's in a dark room doing a weird fucking promo. Not Rusev, Miro. There's a difference.
It was pretty cool. If we watch more, I'm looking forward to seeing what Karrion Kross gets up to.
Yeah, Karrion Kross wins because Scarlett maces Drew McIntyre, which fucking that's cool. It had to have been gimmicked. Obviously.
I love the ref shrugging like I can't do anything about this.
This is a no DQ match. She's just allowed to do that. But that's I haven't seen someone mace somebody in a while.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. The next match was Bianca Belair versus Bayley in a ladder match for the Raw Women's Championship. I liked this one, too.
Yeah, this was just a good match.
A little slower pace, but I dug it.
It had a good story in it. Had Bianca Belair spending most of the match very focused on trying to get up the ladder, and Bayley... It's kind of a reverse. Normally it's the heel who's trying to run up the ladder as quick as possible, and the face wants to have a fight. Bianca Belair was very focused. She didn't lose sight. She kept her eyes on the prize, kept trying to win the fucking match. I like that as a storyline, especially for a face who's generally portrayed as pretty savvy.
I like the big spot where she had two people on her shoulders and did a move to them. And
managed not to break any noses.
Yes, it was close. And I liked the Bayley getting tangled up in the ladder and getting Falcon arrowed onto the ladder because she had the ladder. It was pretty sick.
That one crossed a little bit into, let it go. Let go of the ladder. But sometimes you let wrestling breathe. Yeah. Sometimes you're willing to go, you know what? I'm not going to ask too many questions.
In that sense, I wish the WWE refs were like the AEW refs and helped steady the ladder. It makes me very nervous.
Yeah, there was a point where they didn't fully steady with the ladder before doing a spot on it, and the spot was made much more scary by the fact that ladder could have just decided to close, which would have fucked a whole bunch of stuff up.
But it was pretty cool. Good match. Bianca Belair retains. I like her a lot. I'm glad to see Bayley's back.
I like Damage Control. That's a cool stable.
Yeah. See, we can say positive things about the WWE.
When they do good.
Yeah, I
say good.
And as we've been saying, there's still this weird overall, it's different.
Yeah, we left and some shit changed.
Or we didn't realize it had already changed and we're, seduced by a siren song of something we prefer.
Or maybe we changed.
Sure.
I know that if you go back and watch our first couple podcasts about AEW, I bitch way more about man shot by gun kicks out at 2 than I bitch about that now.
Yeah, you get used to it.
You get used to it.
But see, that's not the parts of it that I feel are different. It's the in-betweens. WWE's in-betweens feel so underwhelming, you know?
Slow.
Slow, deliberate, maybe.
Yeah, deliberate is better. That's a better phrasing. It's not like they're not doing stuff quickly. It's that everything feels very structured.
Yeah, and I don't know. Something about AEW that I prefer so far. Moving right along into an I Quit match, which is always an interesting stipulation. Edge versus Finn Balor.
This was better than the last match at the last WWE pay-per-view with Edge and Finn Balor in it. By, a lot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would agree entirely. It started a little slow, but it got to its build, and that's good.
It took its time. Finn Balor is such a weird story in WWE. They clearly wanted to strap a rocket to him, and then he got injured, and it just never quite worked out. He never really got over the way that they wanted. And, he's good now as, an upper mid-carder. Because that's clearly the position
Well,
he's
I mean,
in.
the man's in his 40s. He's, you know.
But, and he's probably never going to be, the king shit of the mountain. He's past the point in his career where he probably even wants that.
Right.
But it's clear that that's what they wanted, and it's just weird to see, in the way they book him, there's, an element of regret. Because they say things on commentary if Finn Balor manages to defeat Edge here, that could really jumpstart his whole career. He's in his 40s, man. I know he looks really good. He looks younger than Edge, but they're not that different in age.
Well, and 10 years is a long time to do shit in. I mean, it's not like most championship reigns last as long as Roman's.
No, that's true.
That can kind of skew your perception of things. And for that matter, no one's winning jack shit until Cody comes back and takes Roman's title.
Nah, it's Logan Paul.
Yeah,
or Logan Paul. I honestly, I mean, I know that there's a little bitterness there. I want it to be Cody. It's a perfect story. He's the fucking, it is the perfect Dusty Rhodes fucking babyface finally winning finish. Do that. Don't overcomplicate this, please.
If Vince was still in the chair, I would just assume he'd paint himself into a corner and then die.
Yeah.
Nope, jobbing Cody out to him. Who else we got? Who's the next big thing? MJF, jobbing him out to Roman. What else do we have?
Now you're fucked.
And Paul's who's
left?
We gotta build a new wrestler out of parts. We used all the parts on Roman. Yeah, so what I liked about this match, it was I wasn't super into it because, you know what, I don't fucking care. Does Edge want to end his career backstage? Okay, that's fine. I respect your decision. I don't care that Finn Balor is a bully. I don't care that they stole Dominic Mysterio, especially because they did it kind of stupid.
It was a little dumb, but Rhea Ripley did it, so I'm okay with it being a little dumb because she's great. So
and this match did a lot to get me into it. And honestly, when Beth Phoenix showed up, I popped pretty hard, and my attention was way more focused.
This match was ultimately a decent I Quit match, especially when. The real fucking I Quit matches, the heavy ones, they can't do those anymore.
Right.
For good reason. Yeah, I'm not saying they should go back. They shouldn't go back.
Mick Foley doesn't remember the second grade anymore, so they kind of don't do those.
But for the I Quit match that they are able to have, they did a good job. The finish was perfect.
Yeah.
The finish was the exact finish that match should have.
For those of you who didn't watch, Edge was coerced into quitting because they were going to concerto Beth Phoenix, and then he did quit.
And so they did it anyway.
Yeah, because they're bad guys.
And you had to see that coming. You had to know they were going to do it anyway.
Sold it pretty well all around. Michael Cole screaming about, doing his best JR.
He's not JR. He's not the king of the haters. He's never pumped out a fucking do you have no heart? Do you have no soul? Damn you to hell, you son of a bitch. But he got real genuine anger through.
Yeah.
Michael Cole, without Vince's hand up his ass like some sort of demented puppet, is such a good commentator. He's so good at his job.
Speaking of commentary, they went to 2-man teams all around.
2-man teams, and now Michael Cole and fucking Corey Graves are the pay-per-view, the live event commentary team. Nobody else. The rest of this year, moving forward until future notice, it's those two guys doing every match at every premium live event. I like that.
Yeah.
Stop fucking with the commentary desk, and I love the idea of going back to 2-man teams. That is something AEW could really take under advisement. Have fewer people fucking talking.
I feel like they're going to change it again fairly soon, because after football season's over, Pat McAfee will be coming back to the WWE. And I would love to have Cole and McAfee commentating on.
You just want it to not be Corey Graves, and I respect that.
Well, but McAfee also brings an energy. I mean, he might talk about piss missiles, and I have to Google things, but the man gets up on the desk and dances. I think he just really injects something into the proceedings.
He's a new, fresh taste.
Yeah, he really is. Wow, that brings us to the main event. I mean, yeah, we're doing good. Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins continuing their big nasty feud in a fight pit featuring Daniel Cormier, who is an MMA guy.
He had no fucking idea who that was before.
I'm letting you guys know because I don't expect you to know who Daniel Cormier is.
I love that you looked again.
I forgot. I wanted to say Daniel Corned Beef, and I'm pretty sure that's not his name. DC, Michael Cole kept calling him, and I was like, I thought they were in Pennsylvania.
This was a good match. Like, I didn't like it as much as Karrion Kross versus Drew McIntyre, but that wasn't anything against the match. It was good. It was well built. They've really built this feud up as being believably personal. The fight pit is something that it's like an NXT match type, as I understand it. It's good. It's like an evolved Lion's Den match.
I like the second floor. That added a lot.
It adds some dynamism. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gives them some. It basically gives them props. It gives them spots. It gives them stuff to do. I like that it's not a cage match. You're not trying to escape. It is a fight pit,
which is a concept that I used back in my old e-fetting days because it sounds all nasty and tough, and I dig that. I like the stipulation. This was a fine match. I didn't realize it was the main event.
Yeah, it didn't feel like the main event.
Yeah, I was waiting for
this is a short-ass card. There's 6 matches on it.
Yeah.
We're used to AEW pay-per-views that are 20 matches long and fucking...
And after the second one goes, you were like, wow, what a great show.
Oh, fuck. No!
Whereas after the second match on this pay-per-view, we were like,
Do we maybe want to pull the ripcord on this?
I could do something else.
But no, the show really got better as it went on.
Yeah, it never quite hit for me. Like, it never got to the point where I was like, yeah, wrestling. But it was fine.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Similar energy to Clash of the Castle. I was really hoping it was going to be a bigger turnaround for Paul at this point, and he has got his fingers in all them pies, but it's still really... I mean,
ultimately, I don't expect it to get much different than this.
I guess I didn't realize how different it was when I said I didn't expect it to get too different.
That's fair.
But it was okay. Riddle went over. I think ending their feud. Tapped out Seth Rollins. That's very impressive.
Yeah, I think if it definitely should end their feud, because like that's the natural endpoint. Go do something. Fucking go to your corners, gentlemen. Yeah. Go do something with someone else.
You know what? I forgot the most part about this show. Gritty.
You know what? Let's roll back and talk about Gritty for a second.
Gritty, I love him.
I love Miz, or as I like to call him, less talented MJF.
I don't love the Miz.
He's still doing a good job. He's just one of you is a generational talent, and the other is not.
I used to like the Miz. He just he got to 12, and you really should stop at 11.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. But the bit was Gritty is humorously and endearingly fucking with the Miz all night, and then eventually the Miz attacks him, and so Dexter Lumis shows up like Dexter, kills the Miz, and then Gritty kicks him.
It was really good. I like that part.
Gritty is great. Gritty is fucking a king.
Gritty could have been fighting an old sack of potatoes, and I would have been delighted. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. There was like 3 promos, I think. They were just kind of fun throughout the night.
I do want to shout out DC Daniel Cormier. He did a great job as special guest referee.
Oh yeah, that was really fun. He added something to the match.
Like it's the thing I like is normally, even though there is a line where the ref will go, I'll disqualify you if you don't stop. If you gotta respect me, respect my authority.
Now I'm watching WWE and someone made a South Park reference. Is this 1992?
But that's not that old.
Yeah,
South Park wasn't in the 80s.
97.
But the heel will still bully the ref around a little bit, or the face will get too heated and bully the ref a little bit on accident, because ultimately they're weedy little stripe men and big giant wrestle men are more powerful. I've always enjoyed when you get a special guest referee who's neutral, who's not already a part of the shtick, who is like a wrestler or other athlete, and they can like physically push back. They can be like, no, I will fuck you up if you do that again. You're going to follow the rules, or you're going to be fighting me now, and you won't win because I'm not going to disqualify myself. is that what you want? And it brings a really good energy. It brings an energy that, like, it's the same thing the Fight Pit does. It strips away layers of potential outs for the heel or, dusty finishes and just really makes it even more clear that this is going to be the end of this thing. And I like that. It provides clarity.
I think that's it. Nothing else to talk about. Nothing else happened.
I know. I mean, like...
After this, they flashed up the logo. Michael Cole was like, good night, everybody. All right, everything's better when nerds talk about it.
I so wish that you edited this podcast so you could fucking cut the feed and, like, do the stuff.
I mean, I could, but God, I don't want to.
No.
So... I used to edit out a lot of our uhs and ahs and ums. Like, I would spend time going through and just clipping those down.
And yet they still sound so unprofessional and slow.
I know, right?
But, so after the end of the show... we get the culmination of a thing that has been going on WWE TV for a while now, I gather. I've been hearing about it secondhand. Which is like an ARG, like a alternate reality game in WWE that was actually kind of deep and contained very, like, deep fucking cut references to Bray Wyatt.
That's because it was mostly run by Bray Wyatt, and I forget his name off the top of my head, their new director of long-term storytelling.
That they have one of those is very impressive.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. This was pretty neat. It got a little hammy at the last, week. But whatever, when you're building hype with somebody or something, you really want that last little bit of, this is what it is, oh my god, it's coming, kind of, excitement.
Yeah, you want to give them that, we were right, and now we get to see the payoff.
Yeah.
This was, great. Obviously, Bray Wyatt... Wyndham Rotunda, when you get the fuck out of his way, is such a compelling and good storyteller.
Yeah.
And now Vince isn't here anymore to fucking get in his way all the time. So I am very excited about what's coming. Because basically every time something that Wyndham has done has been fucked up, and there have been so many fucking times that has happened, it was Vince's fault. Because Vince didn't fucking get it. Because he's a stupid old man.
I remember one of our earliest podcasts, don't go back and listen to it, we were complaining about the fact that Bray Wyatt wasn't over as a heel. The fans really were behind him. So, for no reason and out of character, Vince had him attack Jerry Lawler.
And just, every time fucking Wyndham Rotunda has made a beautiful, wonderful little thing. Just a little creative piece to toss out into the world.
Like a wrestling steak. Perfectly cured, aged, marinated.
And Gordon Ramsay, you start to dig in. Finally, some good fucking slap. Vince comes around, knocks it the fuck out of your hands, kicks you in the balls, and goes, no, you'll like what I like, because that's what everyone likes. Bring me a meat wrap.
Pours ketchup all over the steak and sucks it down.
And now he's fucking gone. And I am so excited to finally get to eat the fucking steak.
There is a little bit of that cringe, not in the modern parlance, but in the original sense of the word, where we're expecting to get slapped. At least for me.
It's like a beaten dog.
Yeah,
there is that, I don't feel safe. I feel at risk here.
I can't eat this steak? An old man's not going to hit me? Are you sure?
This is fake. You don't... The new thing. The thing that's been on your screen this whole time. This could be really cool and interesting, or fucking awful clown shoes garbage. And my brain was like, no, they're going to fuck this up. This is going to be clown shoes. It's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
No, look at those costumes. They're too colorful. Nope, something's going wrong. Something's going wrong. But no, he's free now. We're all free now.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this unfolds. Obviously, secondhand. I don't watch week to week. I don't really have any interest in doing so.
No, I'm going to catch the highlights on YouTube, maybe. But I'm not going to go back to watching WWE TV.
I don't know that we're going to be regularly watching their pay-per-views.
No, I don't think so either. I only have so much energy and time, and I can barely sometimes watch all the AEW content. And I don't even do that. I don't watch all the darks. There's too many.
But But this was a cool reveal. The lights went out. They flashed around the arena to all of these characters in the crowd, which felt very much like a Disney live show. And I really do mean that in a good way. It had that, you could feel the atmosphere in the arena was like, whoa! And that was kind of exciting for me secondhand. And then there was a decapitated head on the announce table. And that's another place where Michael Cole could have said fuck, but they didn't let him.
I feel like it would have distracted from the moment.
I think of just a soft, like, fuck.
I think he said shit or something.
He said what the hell, I think. But, and then there's like a cool door that they had out there with like a light coming from behind.
Yeah, and then it was like really cool. Lights coming through the edges, and then the door kicks open, and there's this swirling fucking horror show light behind, which is a reference to some shit. My brain saw that and went, no, I recognize this, but I don't remember where from.
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist, maybe, yeah. And then Bray Wyatt comes. Bray Wyatt, not the Fiend. Bray Wyatt comes.
Fiend's a different guy. He was in the audience.
Yeah, comes stepping through. And he looks good.
I'm really excited to see how all this plays out. Are they gonna have them wrestle in the gear?
I hope they don't make the poor bastards wrestle in the heads.
That would be rough.
Dragon is not a serious thing that you should do.
But if they could do it, that'd be wild.
Yeah, but like that's.
Can you imagine 2K23? Holy fuck!
This is begging for Shockmasterdom. Like if they force them to wrestle in the heads, one of those is fucking coming off.
Yeah, right. Sure. I think Huskus is probably fine, but I don't know about
Huskus' mask is very upsettingly.
It's good.
Tight. Like you can see his real human eyes in there, I think, and that's I don't like that.
Yeah, that's good.
But like the Vulture and Ramblin' Rabbit, no, bro. No, that head is way too big. That's gonna fall off.
Yeah, right. He's got a scarf on, and like you can tell it's there for a reason. But these are supposedly a stable. The rumor has it. By the time you hear this, Raw will have come out, so maybe we'll know better. But
Bray's always better with a stable behind him, anyway.
I think so too. I heard someone saying they really wanted to see him back solo, and I'm like, no.
No, he's not MJF, but it is important that he have. It's important for you to visibly see Bray Wyatt has people on whom his spooky bollocks bullshit talk works.
Well, and I think that part of that as well is if he is just one man, even if he's a very scary man who makes Seth Rollins pee his pants, that's just one man you have to take care of. But when a flock of evil weirdos descends upon the ring and you realize there's nothing you can do,
that's much more groundedly frightening. The Fiend was great. Until they fucked him up, we already did the bit. But I think if it's Bray, if it's not the Fiend with that edge of like supernatural Kane superpowers sort of vibe, if it's Bray, it's better if he has he as a cult leader. It's better if he has a cult.
Yeah. Okay, now actually, I don't think we have anything else much to report about this. Do you have any closing thoughts you'd like to supply?
I don't think I'm going to watch everything, but I am excited for what I intend to watch going forward.
I'm definitely going to be paying attention, and that is more than I can say for what's been going on.
Yup. Fuck it!